your skill is, whether it's art, comedy, making music, poetry, there's some way to connect that skill with a social issue. I mean, art for the public, speaking poetry to truth, using comedy to talk about racism. I mean, this is all what politics is about. And using your skill, whatever it is, maybe you might care about children. There are ways to turn your passion into that direction. And the key is getting the funding to help you do that in a systematic way.
Yeah, so we've really seen, all kinds of ways of connecting things. We have teams that are doing fashion, that are, creating clothing with a message, that are creating. We have a group that is launching right now called Labor of Love, and they've created a CD of, it's a group of homeless students who are really interested in the creative economy, and so they have created this CD about their labors of love, and it's during their selection panel they did their little theme song, and it was really, there are so many ways of doing it, and the way that they're making they've created one CD, but the way it's going to be sustainable is they're going to go back and teach other youth that go through this program about music producing and composing and marketing and all of that. So that's a way that can be sustainable. Other questions?
I think at this point it would help me and probably everyone else to find out, how did you get involved in Youth Venture?
Sure. So I've been at Youth Venture for about a little over 2 years. I actually started as an AmeriCorps Vista, and now I've just transitioned into a full-time role. I was an AmeriCorps Vista program associate, and then I was a Vista leader. Have you guys heard of the AmeriCorps program? It's like the domestic version of Peace Corps. The Vista program, you are placed at a nonprofit organization, actually. So that's another Youth Venture Ashoka thing, is that we don't like to use the term nonprofit. Why define ourselves by something we are not? So we like to use the term civil society organization. So Vistas are placed at civil society organizations around the country to basically help these organizations in their capacity building efforts. So I came across Youth Venture on the AmeriCorps website. I'd heard of Ashoka before. Youth Venture kind of piqued my interest. I actually have a background in public health, so no background in business or anything like that, or creating business plans, but got the hang of it, and became a Vista leader my second year, and then I just started as program coordinator at our office. Yeah, I enjoy it. If anyone's interested in becoming an AmeriCorps Vista, it's definitely, if you're interested in learning about the way that civil society organizations work, it's a great way after college to learn about that. You don't get paid very much. You get a living stipend, a living wage, and but you do get an education award that can be used to repay to pay loans, or it can be used to explore their education after you're finished. But I decided to stick around at Youth Venture. And so that's another thing. A lot of organizations do have opportunities for you to stay on after you complete your AmeriCorps year or 2 years, or however many years you decide to do it. You get the education award for 2 years. That's how I came to Youth Venture. I've been with Youth Venture.
I have a question. So which venture team did you most connect with that you've seen in the past couple years?
There's so many. I feel like there's so many amazing venture teams. Most recently, I don't really work with teams very much anymore, besides NYU and MTBU. So I've really been working with a lot of university level teams. Threads that Teach, the one that I talked about, is really one of the ones that I really like. It's something that I'm interested in and with arts funding. But there have been just really, they're all amazing. There's one that's been around for a really long time, and he started when he was 14, Brandon Fernandez, and he started an arts program at a school that didn't have arts programming in Sunset Park in an elementary school, and he is 23 now, I think, and he still runs this after-school program, or it's actually in school part-time during the week. But there's another one that I really like, who actually, she had her office within our office for a little while. Her name's Nadia Campbell, and her team is called the Victorian Hands Foundation. And she, when she was 11 years old, she had an idea, or she actually saw a 2020 special on how the elderly were treated in nursing homes. And so she saw this special, and I think she saw it with her grandmother. And she really felt really strongly about this issue. And she started calling up nursing homes to see where she could go and volunteer. And they said, you have to be 13 to volunteer. So she found one nursing home that said, you can come. And she lived in Crown Heights, and it was in Sheepshead Bay, and she was 11 years old, and it was a trek for her. But every Sunday she would go, and she would volunteer at this nursing home. And she ended up starting a club called the Helping Hands Club. So her and friends would go on Sundays, and they would volunteer. And then at the age of 14, she came to Youth Venture, and she had the idea to start the Victorian Hands Foundation. She had an aunt named Victoria who passed away, and she wanted to kind of start this organization in dedication to her. Started the Victorian Hands Foundation, 14 years old, got some funding from Youth Venture, and started, getting more and more teenagers involved in going to nursing homes and senior centers, and just, a lot of times, like, just talking to them, sometimes help, doing aerobics with them, and doing little, like, making purses and all kinds of, activities with them. And now, she just graduated in January, or in December, she graduated. And in January, she quit her job. She's finished school, quit her job that she was working. She was working full-time, going to school full-time, and running her organization. And she said, all right, I'm just going to run my organization. So that's what she's doing full-time now. She's running the Victorian Hands Foundation. So that's, I think, it's a very, it started as this really simple idea. I'm just going to go and volunteer my time once a week. And then, I'm going to bring my friends along. And then I'm going to expand it to really all young people in the city and connect them to nursing homes in all the boroughs. And now I think they're coming up with some new initiatives of the Victorian Hands Foundation that's broader than just going into nursing homes and senior centers.
That's amazing.
Well, we have about a little bit more than half an hour left, and I really enjoy the examples you gave. In the remaining time, I think it would be very helpful, since we have a rather small group, to do a little bit of brainstorming. Because obviously we're not just here to hear you. I mean, you're a catalyst for this process. We want to help get our own brains thinking. So I think it'd be really beneficial for everyone here to maybe throw out some ideas of tell us what you're passionate about, and maybe think of a way to connect that passion to a project or organization that you might want to start. So anybody want to start?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
Well, I'm real passionate about having like people like undergrads and also teens to the over with from 18 to the age of 24 to actually get involved into voting. Because I like records show that a lot of them aren't interested in voting because they believe that these officials are important. All right, but I believe that maybe if we raise a little bit of awareness, we can actually be the people that can tell them, like actually have them do what we want them to if we actually step up. So that's one of the organizations, or maybe something I would try to be interested in starting.
Yeah.
starting an initiative here on campus, and we're going to be doing big things for places like Darfur, prisoners of conscience in over 120 countries. I used to be a public speaker, and I used to do research in Africa and South America, dealing with women's rights and so on. So to the newly formed Political Science Club, we'd love to have you come out and take part in some of the actions we're doing and get involved and help make big changes all over the world. So that's really the reason I came here today, just to introduce everybody to our club